Good morning, student. Today we are going to do the last topic of the chapter 6, company accounts, and the topic is oversubscription, forfeiture, and reissue. Till now, we discussed that how the forfeiture is to be done, how the reissue of the share is to be evaluated, how the oversubscription is to be dealt. What are the accounting treatment of all these terms? But today, all together, we will do a full-fledged topic that how to deal with the oversubscription, forfeiture, and reissue of the shares. Now, in this case, you have to consider all the aspects that we done till date. Whatever you learn in the chapter, you have to keep each and everything in your mind while doing this topic. And from examination point of view, it is the most important topic because you get 8-mark question with internal choice. Means from the same topic in choice, you will get the 8-mark question in your board exam. I'm repeating once again, you will get the 8-mark question out of this topic with internal choice. Means in choice you find also the same type of question from the same topic. So it is very important from examination point of view. Let's do it and learn how the accounting treatment is to be done when the shares forfeited and reissued and oversubscription is also take place. Illustration number 54. Alpha Limited invited application for 4 lakh of its equity share of rupees 10 each on the following term. Payable on application, that is 5 rupee. Payable on allotment, that is 3 rupee. Payable on first and final call, that is 2 rupees. We have to make a total whether the company has called the complete amount or the partial amount. 5 plus 3, 8 plus 2, 10. It means company has fully called up the capital. Applications for 5 lakh shares were received and it was decided to refuse allotment to applicants for 20,000 shares. To allot in full to allotment applicants of 80,000 shares. To allot balance is available share of the pro rata among their applicants. To utilize the excess application money in part as a payment of allotment money, one applicant whom shares have been allotted on pro rata basis did not pay the amount due on allotment and on call, and his 400 shares has been forfeited. These shares were reissued at 9 rupee per share. Show the journal and cash book entries necessary to record the foregoing data. What are the points to be considered and keep in your mind while doing this question? First of all, the number of share issued. Please underline that it is 4 lakh equity share. Then the amount called up, it is completely 10 in various installment like 5 rupee, 3 rupee and 2 rupee. Applications for 5 lakh shares were received. Please underline this point and highlight that 5 lakh share application have been received. While the company invite the application for 4 lakh shares only, it means company oversubscribed the 1 lakh shares. Now, you know very well, as per Company Act 2013, none of the company can allot more than its issue. Company can maximum issue its share up to the extent of the application invited, that is 4 lakh. So what to do with 1 lakh shares now? Point A, refuse the allotment for 20,000 shares. It means to 20,000 share, it is refused completely. So what is to be the entry done? See, here the cash book is given in the solution. Here buy share application on 20,000 share at rupees 5 per share, 1 lakh rupees will be refunded and the journal entry will become, if you have to do this in journal, the entry will become share application account debit to bank account as this money has been refunded. First of all, the first entry is to be done on 5 lakh share. We receive the application money. 5 lakh into 5 rupees per share, it will be 25 lakh. The first entry is to be done to share application, that is 25 lakh in cash book. If it is not considered that we have to prepare the cash book, this entry has to be done in journal as well, and the entry will become bank account debit to share application account. I'm repeating both of the entries once again. First of all, we have to do the entry of the number of application received. That will be to share application in cash book 5 lakh into 5 rupee per share. It is 25 lakh rupees in total. On the credit side, buy share application as 20,000 shares has been refused. Point B, to allot in full applicants of 80,000 share. It means to 80,000 share they allotted the complete shares. To allot the balance available share pro rata among their applicants, means whatever the balance of the share are left means see, total shares are 4 lakh are to be issued. To 80,000 full allotment has been done. What does it mean? To 3 lakh 20,000 shares pro rata allotment has been done, and that will be 1 lakh less. It will be 20,000 has been refused. Fine. Out of 5 lakh shares, 20,000 has been, so there is a shares left 4 lakh 80,000. Out of that, 80,000 are fully allotted. After that, 4 lakh shares has been left, and 4 lakh share issued 3 lakh 20,000. So under near the point C, please write 5 lakh minus 20,000 minus 80,000 is equal to 4 lakh. 4 lakh, then mark an arrow. How much it can be subscribed? It is up to 3 lakh 20,000 because 80,000 is fully subscribed. So to 4 lakh share, the company has to subscribe 3 lakh 20 shares. To utilize excess money at of payment of allotment money, means whatever the excess money is received, it will be treated as a part of allotment money. Let's see how the question is to be done further. After doing the application money received and refund, we have to do the journal entry, that is share application account debit to share capital account to allotment money. Because here 20,000 shares has been refused, the rest shares are left with us, that is 4 lakh 80,000 shares. On 4 lakh 80,000 share, 5 rupee per share, we have to receive 24 lakh. In share capital, there are 4 lakh share into 5 rupee per share, it will become 2 lakh. Please note it down in your books with pencil. Near the share capital, bracket start on 4 lakh shares, multiply 5 rupees per share, that will be 20 lakh. In share allotment, the total application money received is 24 lakh. 20 is adjusted in application. It means 4 lakh rupees is surplus received is to be adjusted in allotment. Now allotment due, share allotment account debit to share capital account, that is 12 lakh. On 4 lakh share, 3 rupees per share, 12 lakh rupees were there. After that, share allotment received. In the cash book, we have to pass the entry to share allotment. Now the question arises, how the amount of this share allotment, that is 7,99,300 is to be calculated. It is one of the most important point that you have to keep in your mind, because students usually did mistake in this type of point also. Let's come to the working note first, then it will be more clear to you that how the amount is to be calculated. See, at the working note, 20,000 share has been given 80,000, nil, rejected completely. 80,000 share has given the full allotment, that is 80 to 80. Then 4 lakh shares has given 3 lakh 20,000 shares that I have discussed in the point C. This working note is to be prepared for point C. In total, the company public apply for 5 lakh share and the company allot 4 lakh share because company cannot allot the share more than its issue. Now, we have to calculate the amount received on allotment. That is to be done in the working note number 3. Earlier to that, we have to prepare 2 more working note. The first working note is to be prepared for the calculation of the applied and allotted share. Let's come back to the statement. The second last para, it is given one applicant shares had been allotted on the pro rata basis did not pay the amount due on allotment, 400 shares were forfeited. It means 400 shareholder has not paid the amount on share allotment. It means they have paid something on application that is adjusted, because people who applied who allotted 400 share, it means they applied for more. So in the first working note we have to calculate what are the applied share. If you put the statement, if allotted are 3,20,000, then applied shares are 4 lakh. If allotted shares are 1, then applied 4 lakh divided by 3,20,000. If allotted shares are 400 shares, then applied shares were, it will be calculated 4 lakh divided by 3,20,000 multiplied by 400 is equal to 500 shares. Now the company received 500 application for 500 share. The company can maximum allot 400 share. It means 100 share are excess the company has received, and on which 5 rupees per share has been received. It means the surplus received on 100 share is 500 rupees. Now see, on 400 share, how much is the amount due? In the second working note, we come to know that amount due on 400 shares. Because we have to due the amount on 400 share, the company cannot due the share more than its issue. Again and again, I am repeating the point. Any of the company cannot allot more than its issue. So this shareholder who allotted 400 share but applied for 500 shares can maximum allot by the company, that is 400 shares. So allotment due on 400 shares. It will be 400 into 3, 1200 rupees. And the excess money that we got from the working note number 1, the excess money received on application is 500. See, the 400 shareholder has to pay 1200 on allotment. 500 they already paid along with the application money. What does it mean? The net amount that is not received on allotment by the 400 share to the company, that is 700 rupees, not the complete 1200 rupees. But in the earlier questions, what we were doing? We were just doing multiplying 400 by 3. Okay, 1200 rupees has not been received. But in this question, we can't say that 1200 rupees has not been received. The company has not received 700 because out of those 1200 rupees, the 500 rupees has been already received at the time of application money received by these shareholder. And that surplus, that excess money is to be adjusted at the time of due of allotment. So in this way, on the allotment money, we have to deduct the surplus, whatever the received by the company on particular shares, and then we have to calculate the net amount that is not received on allotment. I hope it is clear to everybody. That is 700 rupees that are not received by the company. Let's come to the final calculation of the amount received on allotment in working note number 3. The total amount due on allotment, that is 4 lakh into 3, 12 lakh rupees in all, less excess amount received on application. On application, the shareholder has been received. How it is to be calculated? See, 5 lakh minus 4 lakh, that will be 5 lakh minus 20,000. On 80,000 share, the company has received the excess amount. So 85 of 4 lakh rupees, the excess amount received on the application. It will be deducted. Then amount not received on allotment, that is 700. It is to be deducted also. And we will get the net amount received on allotment in cash. It is to be shown in the cash book. See, on the debit side, the second entry has been done to share allotment account 7,99,300 rupees. In this way, we have to make these working note. These working note mean a lot because it provide you the correct amount is to be received at the time of share allotment. After that, the 400 shareholder has not paid the call money. So first of all, we have to do, let's do the third entry, share first and final call to share capital. On 4 lakh share, 2 rupees per share, 8 lakh will be there, will be our share first call due. But the company is not receiving the share capital final call on 400 shares. So 800 minus 400 share multiply by 2, 7,99,200 rupees has been received on share first and final call. Then share forfeited and the entry for the share forfeiture is to be done. The journal entry will be share capital account debit at the time of forfeiture to non-payment. There is a non-payment of share allotment that we come to know in working note number 2, that is 700 rupees. To share first call account, that is we come to know in the bank entry 400 into 2. 400 into 2 we have not received on first and final call, so 800 are shown and credited to share first and final call. To share forfeiture, the amount will be credited whatever is received by the company till date. So whatever the amount received by the company, 4,000 minus 700 minus 800, 1,500 will be deducted and 2,500 is to be transferred to share forfeiture account. Now this amount of share forfeiture has to be transferred to capital reserve. But first of all, we have to do the entry of reissue. Let's come back to the cash book and we have to pass the last entry of the reissue to share capital. Those 400 shares has been reissued at 9 rupee per share. It means 1 rupee loss is there. The entry will become in journal share forfeiture account debit to share capital. 400 are to be shown in the journal because it is the loss on the reissue, and remaining 3,600 rupees are to be shown in share credited in share capital account in cash book because this amount is received at the time of reissue. The amount of the forfeiture debited here 400, credited at the time of forfeiture 2,500, 2,500 minus 400, 2,100 rupees are to be transferred to capital reserve. In this way, 8 mark full-fledged question is to be done, and in this question journal and cash book is to be prepared. So you have to do all the entries of the bank in cash book and all the entries related to due is to be done in journal. If it is considered in the same question that show the journal entry or make the pass a necessary journal entry to record the foregoing data, then all the transactions are to be entered in journal only. There is no need to prepare the cash book. If it is given specifically that prepare the cash book, then it is compulsory to prepare the cash book and pass all the entries related to cash or bank in cash book. Otherwise, you will not get any marks in the board examination. It is very much compulsory. You have to read every instruction very carefully that what is asked by the examiner. Examiner wants the journal entry from you or whether examiner wants the journal as well as cash book from you. If the examiner wants the journal, then all the entries are to be passed, whether it is related to due or whether it is related to receive are to be entered in the journal only. But if the examiner is asking about the journal as well as cash book, then you have to pass all the entries related to due in journal and all the entries related to bank in cash book. So please keep these basic points in your mind while attempting the question. And today we have finished our chapter. Every topic we have covered till date. Tomorrow I will have a class that will be the feedback session in which I'll call your name and you have to show on your video, come to the screen and I'll take the feedback, ask the questions related to the calculations as well as the basic concepts. Tomorrow there will be a feedback session or the group discussion will be there. So get ready for that. Thoroughly revise the chapter, intensively study each and every concept and logic, and tomorrow we will have a video conferencing with each other. A group discussion is there, feedback session is there, as well as the query session is there. You are most welcome to take your queries at that time as well. So after that, there are some topics that are not related to the practical in CBSE, but from theoretical point of view, it is to be done. So these are the expansion of the capital. See, we have discussed earlier when we started the chapter that a company cannot issue the number of share more than its authorized capital. But sometime with the passage of time, when the business expanded, company required more capital sometime. So what is the option to the company to expand its capital? The company can expand its capital by the following three methods. One is issue of right shares. Second is IPO. Third is preferential allotment. Let's discuss what are these terms. From theory point of view, 1 mark question, these are very important. The number one, issue of right shares. Under section 62, the Company Act 2013, every public limited company, whenever it proposes to increase its subscribed capital, shall be required to offer those shares to those shareholders of equity share in their existing proportion. Such issue is known as right issue. I'm repeating, under section 62, the Company Act 2013, every public limited company, where it proposes to increase its subscribed capital, be required to offer those shares to shareholder of equity share in their existing proportion. What does it mean? The company is restricted that there should be a public limited company who can issue the right share. First thing, it is given under section 62. And whenever he proposes to increase the subscribed capital, the company can offer the shares to the existing shareholder only. It means right issue can be done to existing shareholder. The second point should be kept in mind. Third point, in their existing proportion, means if a shareholder has 1 lakh share and now he can have 10,000 share, it means 1:10 will be there. If the shareholder has the 2 lakh share already, then he can have the 20,000 shares. It depends. We have to make the ratio. The number of share existing with, here the example is given to us. Let's do the example, then it will be more clear. A company which has already issued 3 lakh shares wants to make a further issue of 1 lakh share. What does it mean? It means the people who have 3 old share, they will get the 1 new share, because the ratio is to be decided by issuing the more number of shares. Already existing shares are 3 lakh. Further issue is 1 lakh. The ratio will become 3 lakh. Ratio 1 lakh, it will be 3:1. It means the people who are holding the 3 shares will be get 1 new share. If the person has 300 share, he will get 100 new shares. The existing shareholder can authorize the capital by passing a special resolution to offer such shares to the public. Right issue is advantageous to the existing shareholder, specifically when the market price of the share is higher than the issue price. Please mark, this is one of the most important advantage of issue of right share. You may get the question that what is the advantage of the issue of right share to the shareholder, carry 1 mark. The second way to expand the capital is initial public offer, IPOs. You may get the full form of the IPOs also in the paper. That what is IPOs? IPOs are the initial public offer. It denotes inviting the public to subscribe the share capital through the issue of prospectus. Means if the company issue the prospectus and issue the new share capital, then it is known as IPOs, initially means starting, public means to public, offer means that is the offering. So initial public offers. So prospectus, when the share capital is to be subscribed, then it is denoted as IPOs. The third one is the preferential allotment. A preferential allotment is one in which entire allotment is made to pre-identified people who may or may not be existing shareholder. In such an allotment, shares are issued at a predetermined price to the pre-identified people who wish to take the strategic stake in the company, such as promoter, venture capitalist, financial institutions, buyers of the company product, or its supplier. In such case, the allottees shall not sell their shares in the open market for the period of 3 years from the date of allotment. This period is called lock-in period. So you may get the question, in case of preferential share, how much is the lock-in period? It is the minimum period of 3 years. Means when the shares are issued to the pre-identified people, means they can be the joint ventures, they can be the promoters, they can be the capitalists of the company, they may be any financial institutions, so they may be the supplier. So these people has restriction that they cannot transfer their share from the date of allotment to the minimum 3 years to anybody. They are locked for 3 years. That's why it is considered as lock-in period. So there is a lock-in period in case of preferential share, and preferential allotment can be done to whom? It can be done to promoters, it can be done to venture capitalists, it can be done to financial institutions, and the people who are buying the company's product, its suppliers, etc. So preferential share can be made only if there are 3/4 of the holder of the existing shares agree to issue on preferential basis. So SEBI also has given the guidelines, prescribed guidelines for that. Now our next topic is, that is buyback of shares. See, what is buyback of shares? Buyback means purchasing of own shares by the company. Sometimes what the company do, company just purchase its own share. When it's happened, when the company feels that the market value of their shares are going to be decreasing, in that case, in order to promote the value of their share, they start their share purchasing. Their own share has been purchased by the company itself, because when the demand of the shares will be there in the market, their value will be raised. So buyback is a mean to increase the value per share, or market, to increase the market value of the share of the company. This mean is used to adopt to use to increase the value of their existing shares. Now, what are the sources of buyback? Under section 68, subsection 1, it is given, a company may buy back its own shares from out of its free reserves, the security premium account, the proceeds of any share or other specified securities. From whom the company can buy back? The company can buy back its own share from either of the following: from the existing shareholder on a proportionate basis, from the open market, from odd lot shares, that is say where lot of shares are smaller or tradable a lot, or from the employees of the company. So you may get the MCQ from this point of view. You may get the 3 points are there, and last point is all of above. Then you have to mark the answer all of above. The buyback can be shared from whom? So all above will be the answer. Or you may get the question related to the sources of buyback share. So you have to read each and every point of the sources of buyback, as well as the name of the parties or the institution from the buyback can be done, because you may get this type of MCQ in your paper, because these have the so many options in the form of filling the blanks. We may have true, false, we may have, but the chances are more. But whatever the questions, whichever the question have the different points, they have the more chances to have MCQ in the paper. So please take care of the theory portion also, because it will provide you the 20 marks in your paper. Complete 20 marks are there. So be careful. One mark, 20 question will be there in the form of MCQs. So you have to study intensively, thoroughly. Each and every word to word reading is to be done. Highlight, stars, mark points against the concepts or the logics that you find important from the examination point of view. That's all for the day. We have completed the chapter today. We have completed each and every theoretical aspects as well as practical aspect of the chapter. Now you have to read each and every point in the back exercise, in the introduction that is given in theoretical part, and each and every example that is given for the practical numerical. Now I request Akash sir to allow